What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Yellow Kings podcast. My name is Toyun Kim, also known as your average tech bro on the internet.
I'm your co-host, Meng Meng Duck. How's everyone doing?
Doing well, doing well. You know, I think we got an interesting topic today, being in the social media space. Something that I noticed is that, did you ever realize that the early days of social media, I think particularly YouTube, it was kind of dominated by Asians. But now it's kind of changed, and a lot of these formerly huge channels, they've kind of disappeared. But I kind of want to talk about what I like to call the golden age of YouTube, the golden age of social media. We're talking about Kev Jumbas. We're talking about the Ryan Higas out there in the world. You know, so many iconic Wong Fu, Kathy Nguyen, Clara Tse. Come on, we can go all day about this.
Strangers again. You know, that was a banger. All right, I was like
Honestly.
10 years old. I'm like, Kathy Nguyen held a special place in my heart when I was a little teenager.
Oh, yeah. But on that topic, kind of just want to talk about that whole dynamic and maybe just do a little throwback episode of who some of our favorite creators were. And just like how iconic it was that during the early days of social media, in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong about this, but because I was Asian and maybe because I was in a very Asian American town growing up as well, I felt like YouTube was absolutely lifted up by majority Asian creators. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe other people in other ethnic groups, they're like, who are these people? I've never heard of these people, you know? But we'll dive into that. We'll see how this conversation goes. But I guess kind of wanted to start the conversation off by saying, who are some of your favorite content creators from the golden age of YouTube? And like, why did you like them? And what were some of your favorite videos by them?
Dude, easy answer. Kev Jumba. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT of my middle school. Why? Okay, number one, funny dude, super relatable, just like kind of like an average guy making YouTube videos. And number two, like I think when he started making videos with his dad, it was super relatable to me because like they're both Taiwanese, and like I saw a lot of characteristics in like his dad and like kind of like my dad as well. They're kind of different, but it's like Asian dad jokes, right? And I think like definitely, for sure Kev Jumba. Super sad that guy just went total muck mode over the years and kind of stopped like making videos. He's kind of back nowadays. I've been seeing him on Facebook here and there. He like streams himself making like music and stuff. But definitely Kev Jumba was like, I mean, respect to all of them, but Kev Jumba was like definitely like one of the top ones on my list. How about you?
It's crazy because Kev Jumba totally, like, he created the commentary genre almost. Like his videos, what is it? Girls are like M&Ms? Come on. I remember that video. Yeah. It's like he almost created this huge genre of these like randomly scripted, no, not scripted, just random commentary videos that totally took off. And actually one of my favorite things that he did was he created a second channel called Jumba Fund. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah. What was that? You're like unlocking a part of my memory right now that I didn't know was there. What was it?
Core memory unlocked. It was a second channel that he made where I think all the revenue that he made from that second channel, he would donate it every single month to a charity. And he would like show proof like, hey, this is me recording myself hitting the donate button. This is my receipt for this charity, XYZ. And I was like, wow, this guy was so ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Like, if there is any content creator that I think I wish that I could be, I would agree with you. It's Kev Jumba, you know?
I think like Kev Jumba, if I look back at who's the most inspirational, I mean, I had a lot of inspirations, but back then, if I look at the type of content that I want to make now, and reason why I want to make it, Kev Jumba has a lot to do with it, right? Just him talking about his thoughts, that's number one. I mean, let's be honest, that's kind of what we're doing here on the Yellow Kings podcast, but like, this is kind of just a new format nowadays that people do, but we're kind of just doing what he's doing at this point, essentially. And also just poking fun at like Asian shit. But what was even more crazy, I remember like a couple like months ago, I actually went back and watched a lot of the videos of him during the Amazing Race. I don't know if he caught up with like when he went on the Amazing Race, I made sure every single week, I forgot when it was like Saturday night at 7 p.m. or something, I was like in front of the TV on 60 Minutes waiting for Amazing Race to come on because I wanted to see Kev Jumba and his dad in the show. And that was like such a core memory for me, just every week keeping up with it. And then like a couple days afterwards, he'll post a YouTube video summarizing his experience from like the episode that just dropped. And I thought that was just so cool. Like now I go back and watch it, his YouTube channel, like his old videos, and I'll watch those videos. And I was like, that was just so cool.
Channel up actually? I haven't.
He
looked
does.
at
He
it in a
does. He
long
does.
time.
It's all still on there.
I'm so curious how much residual money that he makes, like ad revenue that he makes from this channel.
I'm always kind of curious, like how much money did he make exactly, right? Like, because he was around when YouTube wasn't making any money, and I don't know if he was around when like people started cashing out. Because it was like this time period from like I think 2013 to 2017 where like YouTube was just cashing the fuck out before the whole like apocalypse, as they call it, right? But I don't know. But
yeah, honestly, you're right. I think he was too early to really like cash out.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think it's really, I'm just looking at his channel right now. You're right. He did go pretty hardcore monk mode, but I honestly think it's like, I can't blame him though. You know, it kind of shows it's like,
I get it.
One of those,
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's
now.
like how all of those really famous people that say like being rich and famous sucks. Like it will not make you happy. For some reason, when I hear somebody like really like, for example, like I think it was Jim Carrey said something like, I wish that everybody who wants to be famous could be famous for a day to see how awful it really is. And I think when I hear something from like someone like him tell me that, it's really hard to believe. It's kind of same thing with Justin Kan as well. It's like,
it's like
obviously he's
money isn't everything. It's like, bro, shut the fuck up, okay? It's like, yeah.
It's like it's still a little hard for me to believe it from them, even though deep down inside I definitely know it's true. But
it is true.
It's harder.
It's
true. It's harder for me to really accept what he says just because he's multi-million.
I'll give you the perfect way to explain it is that both of us view it this way. It's like, I know what you're saying is true, but I fucking hate you because like you get to say that. Like we want to both be that, like we talked about this the other day. Like we want to become the all-in podcast in which we're just two fucking rich dudes sitting in front of camera talking the shit. And it's like, fuck these guys. Fuck these guys. And we'll be like, yeah, you know, Thomas, you know what I realized over the past 10 years selling like my companies for like 9 figures, like in total and stuff. Like I realize money isn't everything. Like you just gotta find your purpose in life. It is my goal to be able to say that.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's like, it's obviously something that I need to grapple with and like in my own like mental space, but it's like, you're totally right. On one hand, I'm just like, these guys are so obnoxious. Who do they think they are? Then on the other hand, if you were to come up to me and be like, hey, would you want to be them? I'd be like,
fuck.
Yeah, it seems pretty dope. You know, it's bad. It's bad.
I want to be Jason Calacanis. I want to be Chamath, you know, shooting the shit, whatever.
God.
I'm snowboarding today. You know, it's pretty chill, you know? Yeah.
Actually, that's an interesting question. That's an interesting question that I want to segue into. Well, it's a little off topic from the original purpose of this.
We can come back to YouTube stuff real quick. Yeah.
Sure. But I guess, who would be the ideal, whose career do you envy the most? Like, who would you want to be if you could?
Oh, this actually brings it back to our original topic. I don't envy this person. Well, okay, I'm not jealous. Envy means like you admire them, right? And you want to do what they do.
Let's look up the official word from the dictionary.
Yeah. What is the non-toxic admiring? Like, it's like, I fuck with this person and I want to be this person, but not in a toxic way. And like, you are inspiration to me.
I think admire is a good one. I think admire is a good word.
Oh, it's easy. Yeah. And this goes back to the original topic. David So, easily. I fuck with what he... Okay. You know what's actually really funny? During the golden age with YouTube, I actually didn't watch him that much. I actually didn't like him. I found him pretty obnoxious. I thought his content was a little weird, honestly. I was more of a Kef Jumba. I was a Wong Fu guy. And then Nigga Higa, just like everyone watches Nigga Higa. It didn't matter. Like, I don't care what race, ethnicity, age, gender. You just watch Nigga Higa. He was a funny dude. Creative genius. Dude, Nice Guys, Kef Jumba, Nigga Higa, Shed Tear.
Oh my God.
Bangers. I can recite that song. I still, dude, I'm pretty sure Nice Guys is going to be like I think it's on my top 100 Spotify rewind this year.
Shut
For some
up.
reason, that song came up once, and I played it a lot one day, and then like it went into like on repeat playlist on Spotify. So it just
No
kind of
way.
been there. Yeah. Yo, honestly, let's talk about that real quick. The Nice Guy anthem, was that not? That came up. That was the anthem, dude. Like literally, like that song spoke. Again, I'm not saying this is race specific, but at least for Asian guys, that song spoke to every Asian guy out there. You know?
Yeah,
I think
I would agree with that. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think it's like a lot of how a lot of Asian guys were perceived growing up. Not
Yeah.
whether we wanted to be perceived that way, more so we were just like stereotyped into being perceived as like the nice guy, like the quote unquote gay best friend who was not gay, but like I got that so much growing up.
Dude,
Like,
I got that before too.
so many girls in high school would be like, and also like they would just be like, so many non-Asian girls growing up in high school, they would come up to me and they'd be like, "Oh my God, Thomas, you're like my gay best friend," and I'm like, that's like so demasculating.
Yeah,
like
it's like thank you, I guess. Like, is that
Yeah,
supposed to be a
it's like-
compliment? Like, I don't know.
yeah,
what's
it
happening
felt like
here.
a backhanded compliment. It's like you're basically saying I'm too like I'm not stereotypically masculine enough to be
Mm-hmm.
just like a normal friend or like someone that you're interested in. And instead, I have to be separated into like this separate label.
No.
Weird dynamic.
They're just negging
Obviously-
you. They're negging you.
Also,
dude.
also not saying that being like a legitimate gay best friend's a bad thing, but it's just like the way that they were saying it and like what they meant by it was in kind of just in a way of like, I see you as not one of my normal non-Asian guy friends, and that was just such a weird category to be in.
Yeah. Oh man, are we going down this path on this podcast?
No, not now,
All right.
now,
guys.
in a later
We
episode.
will save the Yellow King Incels podcast for another episode. Like Tom and I have talked about it. It's like we are going to have an episode in which everyone that's listening to this, every single Asian dude will know what we're talking about. We're going to address this topic, but we promise that we'll have a female on this episode as well when we
Yep.
address it, so it doesn't turn into a complete incels podcast.
No, that episode is coming, but we're gonna need the perspectives of. It's not gonna just be me and Andrew. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be an in-person podcast with a lot of women from different backgrounds, different types of women out there as well, like some ABGs, non-ABGs, non-Asian folks. Everyone for them to chime in and just to get their thoughts. But that's
Dude,
coming.
We're going to become fresh and fit. Is that what's happening? Do you know fresh and fit?
No, what's fresh and fit?
Look it up. It's like think about if Andrew Tate had a podcast.
Oh my
It's
God.
like two dudes, and then they get like 10 girls on the podcast, and they just talk. It's like you feel like your brain is melting when you're listening to it. It's like
We're not going to be that. I'll say that we're not going to become that. We're going to have a good, level-headed discussion to really analyze this
Yeah.
all from a non-incel, non-toxic male.
Yes,
But-
non-incel guys. We promise. We'll
Yes,
try our
okay.
best. Okay, but
But-
I guess like wrapping up the whole thing about David So, I really admire what he has done. So number one, I didn't like him that much when he first came out. Like I said, I was more of a Ket Jumba, Wong Fu guy. But there's one channel that I always kind of watched that I watch a lot now, but it's Just Kidding Films. All right, so Bart Kwan, Joe Chitsukawa, fucking goats, by the way. I love those guys. I actually got into watching JK News when like my ex-girlfriend introduced it to me freshman year in college. I remember just watching JK News with her. I was just like, all right, what? I know these guys. I never watched them that much. But I remember like David So will be on the show as well. And I thought that guy was so fucking funny. I was like, dude, this guy is hilarious. I love his takes. I love his don't give a fuck attitude. And he just speaks his mind and says what he wants. And has inspired me when I make content to be like, I want to also be unapologetically myself, right? I don't want to hold back, which is kind of a lot of times like when I create content, and I don't know if you can see this for me, like I try to speak my mind as best as I could. I hold back certain things, but I try to say my opinions because I never want to be a person that like is afraid to say something just because he's afraid of backlash from the audience, right? At least that's what I tell myself. But
Yeah.
just in general, I really admire what he has done. Number one, he has built such a strong community through like his podcast. I'm a pretty avid listener myself, and he started these different food brands. Like he's part of Shrimp Daddy, I believe. He started Junbi Matcha. He has this podcast. He's a content creator, but he did it like his way. He did it his way, you know, kind of like the Dave Chappelle way, in which he's like, I don't need to go to mainstream. I don't care about the money. I want to build a life in which I can live the life I want to live. And I don't need to be filthy rich, but I want to live a good life my way. And that's something I truly admire about him. Not saying I can do that, because I think I care too fucking much about money, to be honest. But it's something I strive to be. It's something I definitely strive to be. So he in my mind, he's definitely the GOAT right now. Yeah. How about you?
Interesting. I think for me, there's this guy on Twitter that I think is like so sick. His name is Peter Levels. I think his Twitter handle is Levels.io. Basically, he's this one dude who is, he basically creates so many different software companies, so many different software products. He's probably launched over 20 different products, no, over like 100 products, but obviously only like 5 of them, 10 of them have actually generated any meaningful revenue. Basically, he's a solopreneur at its fullest potential, where he builds everything. He has a few freelancers to help with like a little bit of customer support, a little bit of like other software stuff as well. But he makes, I think, $2 million a year from all of his companies put together, right? And I think my dream is I would want, and he's also like super active on Twitter. So like that's the social media medium that he is the most active on, where he makes jokes. He's unapologetically himself, but he also gives legitimate advice for people that also want to build things. And I think I would really want to be that, because I genuinely love building stuff. I love coding. I love building tools like that. It brings me so much joy. And I would essentially want to be like my own micro PE firm, where I'm the holding company of like a bunch of other products that I initially build out to a certain scale, then hire people on to operate on a day-to-day, so that I can like build new things, launch new things. And then I would want my active social media choice to be YouTube, where obviously I would like live stream, make funny videos here and there, but also give legitimate advice to people that also want to build software. So that is I think like a variation of what Peter Levels is doing on Twitter. I would want to do the same, except on like YouTube and TikTok instead.
You know what's so what's so interesting about what we just said here? I think I am creator first, entrepreneur second. Like I view lens of things through like, I like David So because he's creator first, and then he used his creator abilities to like launch these brands. But at the core, he's a creator. He loves creating things, which I feel like I resonate with too. I feel like at the core, you're a builder. You're like an entrepreneur builder first and creator second. Like you want to build things and then maybe talk about it and use that to grow your business. But like at the core, you want to build things. Right?
Yeah, I think so. I think I think in the end, we're both creators. It's just that our creation medium of choice is different, where yours is like content, like YouTube and video content first, and then like traditional business second, whereas mine is just flipped the other way. Like, don't get me wrong, I still genuinely enjoy like making videos and stuff like that. I have a lot of fun with it, but I think if I would not be sad if I was just like this dude in the back. Like you would never know who I was, but I just launch projects and products and just like crush it on a daily basis. Like I would truly, truly love that.
Really? So today, if I gave you a red pill and blue pill, and I'm like, you take this, you become the guy no one knows about, but you're a secret killer. And the other one, it's like, you're a super famous creator, whatever, celebrity, whatever, influencer, but you don't know how to build things, and you need to hire someone to build things for you.
Oh, I would take the first one. I'd be the behind the scenes builder. Like if you were to be like, all right, Thomas, you have 2 choices of how you can make 10K monthly recurring revenue. Number 1 is via a monthly brand deal on video, like on YouTube or TikTok. Or would you rather make like a SaaS tool that generates 10K monthly recurring revenue? I would take the SaaS tool any day of the week. Personally.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the opposite. Like I would take the creator part first, and I'll be like, all right, if there's a business that comes out this amazing. If not, fuck it, dude. I'm gonna make food blogs.
Yeah, I think for me, I would hate being in this position where if I did not know how to code and I had an idea for a product that I wanted to build, and I would be like, oh my gosh, I have to go find someone to be my technical partner to build this. I I don't know how you feel about that, but I guess I would feel so like kind of what is it like
Useless.
like lack of a better word, kind of useless. It's like, oh man, like I'm stuck. I can't do what I actually want to do. I have to find someone to help me. Whereas for myself, if I'm like, oh, I have an idea, I'm just like, all right, let's open up my laptop and start typing away and start putting it together. You know?
For me, it's like, and I think I told you this. It's like I don't mind having a technical co-founder or people doing things for me, but I want to make sure that I know enough about something that whoever I'm working with, they can't bullshit me. Because I hate not being in the know. I hate feeling like I have no control, right? Like I like being in control. And it's like, if I can't understand what you're doing and being like, if I lose you, I'm fucked. I hate that feeling also. But I don't need to do it myself. I just need to know enough to know what you're doing and understand it rather than actually build it myself. But
yeah. Is there a certain content creator that's more in line in like the same niche as you that you really look up to, that you would really want to become?
Just someone I admire right now. Like, not necessarily like, I'm like, dude, this is exactly what I want to be doing. But someone I'm like, dude, that's kind of cool what he has done. And it's kind of dope because he's like pretty recent and has also built, quite the business off of content.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Charlie Chang and Humphrey Yang. Those are the two.
No. Actually, no. Okay. Humphrey Yang. I don't even follow that guy, to be honest. Not in like a bad way. I don't see his stuff. I don't follow him. Charlie Chang, yeah, definitely. Definitely him to some extent, but I don't watch his stuff too much to know. But actually, you know who it is?
Who?
It's JT Barnett.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
I like what he has done. I really like what he's done because like he has built a very strong community of like creators, and and he has build a business off of his content, right? And I just kind of like him as a person. I think he's very genuine. I think he's a very nice guy. Like I met him in person once. We talked for like a quick minute. Yeah, I met him like this like Stan creator event. We chatted for like a quick minute before I was really cut off by someone else. I won't name his name right now. But
We'll cut that.
The other guy was my friend too, actually. But no, I he'll be a guy that in like the more modern day era of like, because he built his business off of TikTok, so I think it's more relatable than like let's say David So or JK Films, in which like I can't replicate what they did because they came out in different time and they're also on a different platform. Yeah. How about yourself?
See. I really like. Well, number one would be Peter Levels, but I guess he's kind of hard too, just because he is on Twitter, which is like a totally different ball game. And like, I would say in the current tech space, it would not be like Joma Tech or Tech Lead. Number one, Tech Lead would not want to be. I don't really vibe with him that much anymore. I do not watch his content.
He used to be so great. He used to be so great.
He used to be great. Then he just became
good.
He became an edgelord, and it's just like so bad now. I'm not.
Do you think it's a character, or do you think he just became who he was?
No, I think it's a character. I think he's just there at the end of the day. He doesn't care. He just wants the bag. Like he's just there for the bag. I think is my 2 cents.
But how
on
sustainable is this though? Like this has to end eventually, right? And like,
but I think his burn is so low that it doesn't matter.
Like he's going to make enough that he can retire in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, last time I checked, which was like a video I watched like a year or two ago, he was like living with his parents or something. He moved back in with his parents, and like I think he's just chilling. So I don't think he needs that much to live.
He did make a lot of money though from like
he made a crazy amount of money.
But just not even from YouTube, just off his tech career in general.
Yeah, I mean, from his like normal engineering career, he was probably pulling like 500-600K a year or something like that.
And you know what? He could probably find a job he wants to, even with his brand name. People will still take him just because like there's probably someone out there that totally fucks with him, and also like he's talented. He's talented. He may not work at Facebook again, but there's a startup that'll definitely be like, all right, we'll hire you.
Yeah. And then like Joma Tech, I actually really like Joma. I think he's really pivoted his content to be pretty fun. Like he makes funny videos, which I like. But actually the creator that I really like, that's like in the more similar medium as me, is Ben Awad. I don't know if you know him.
Ben Awad. No. Let me
he's
look him
this
up.
like he's like a real like programmer's programmer. Like he's
How do you spell?
Ben, like the name Ben, and an AWAD. So he's not huge, but he's big. He's like 400K, almost 500K on YouTube. He popped off on TikTok a lot because he would do these like nerdy thirst trap videos, like rizzing up somebody with like software engineering coding terms, and like people will go crazy in his comments being like, Ben, marry me, please, date me, please.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I could really make that content. I don't know. I like him and I were just like personality wise, we're kind of different, at least in the TikTok sense. But I think I really like his YouTube content because he goes pretty technical. Like he talks about the different frameworks that he's using. He does these like every 2 monthly videos where he's actually building an app right now. That's actually like, I think it's doing pretty well. And he really dives into the technical details about it, some of the technical challenges that he's facing and the decisions that he's making too. And I really like that. It's like his audience are like really hardcore developers, I think, that really love hearing about his technical decisions and stuff like that. So yeah, Ben Awad, he is an awesome creator that I think if I were to create my YouTube and TikTok channel presence, it would probably be more aligned with what he's doing because he really builds. I think that there's too many. I don't want to slander, but I think that there are a good amount of like tech content creators who I'm sure that they're like legitimate engineers and stuff like that. But I think I'm just craving more tech content where they really dive into technicals. Whereas like some people, there's a good portion of tech creators that just like stay super high level. And I'm just like, hey, like give me more. Like, please go deep into technicals.
But it caters, number one, it caters to the masses. And number two, maybe they just can't go that deep, right? Maybe they're not that guy.
Yeah. Whoa, guy.
Or girl. Shout out to Mayuko.
Mayuko is
shout out to Mayuko. She went to my school.
Oh yeah, UCSD. Go
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, at a certain point, I mean, just talk about content a little bit. It's like, at a certain point, they're also just playing the game. You know, like they got the content for probably, you know, to get views, to have people watch them for them. So yeah, at a certain point, they're probably just like, I don't want to become that tech guy. I want to become more of a personal brand. And I think that's something that you and I both struggle with as well. Right.
Yeah. No,
yeah. All right. Let's wrap up this question. Who are some YouTubers from the golden age of YouTube that you still watch to this day?
To this day.
And why?
Wow. I don't even know.
Why or why not, you know?
Okay, an OG, this is a truly OG YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that
Fred.
Not Fred.
Fred Figglehorn.
Oh my god, that's a core memory unlock. I think the one OG YouTuber who's pivoted a lot is actually Anthony Padilla from Smosh.
Yo,
he's pivoted. Yeah, his personal brand's so different now. He does like a lot of like very personal interviews with big content creators and like kind of looks or not even just other content creators, but like very like more like fringe group of people that you don't talk to every single day, like people that are like conjoined twins, I think, with like furries and stuff like that, people you don't have access to on a day-to-day basis and like dive into their psyche about it. I love his content. He's probably the most OG YouTuber that I still watch pretty regularly. Like whenever a new video comes up, I will go watch it. I think that's about it. I think most other OG YouTubers, I think they've kind of gone off and done different things, and I just don't keep up with them.
Yeah, because like the lifespan of a creator is just like it's so short. It's so short, like 5 years, and then like either people get bored of you or you burn out yourself. You know,
yeah.
And it's like unless you form that very strong community, it's kind of hard to keep up. Yeah, it's harsh. Like honestly, how long do you think you'll be a creator forever?
No, not at all. I know that this is gonna last maybe 2 to 3 years max, and that's why I'm so like,
oh really?
I want to build a company that survives outside of this. Like, I mean, I'm not even remotely famous right now, but I think like with the little traction that I do have on social media, that's why I really want to use social media to create a legitimate business that can exist without it as well.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, All right, guys. Well, that wraps up this episode of the Yellow Kings podcast. Let us know what you guys think about the OG age of YouTube, the golden age. Like, if anyone you still follow, any core memory we may have unlocked in this video, we'd love to hear from you guys. But other than that, everyone have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you guys all next time.